Hello, I'm Bob Merritt, president of Ceres Turf Incorporated.
Earlier this year, my granddaughter was bitten by this copperhead. I'll tell you the rest of the story shortly. It was during this time that we were searching for what to call a new line of quad tines. And that's how the Viper was born. We are very pleased to announce a new line of quad tines. Here you see a drone view of our new 3/8 Viper nose quad being run as a test against a round nose quad. The 3/8 Vipers are loaded on the left three heads of a Toro 648 and our own round nose 3/8 quads on the right three. It was this test, and indeed many others, that convinced us that it was time for a new family of quad tines, the Viper nose quads. In all, we will have 6 new Viper nose quads, in addition to our 1/8 inch mini quad, which was introduced last year. For the full story on our Viper nose quads, go to the red button called Mini Quads. In February 2020, we launched a development program to determine if a new, larger mini quad would be beneficial. We compared our new Viper nose quads to our own line of quads. Our standard line of quads have been around for many, many years and has proven to be the equal or better than other quads that are on the market. Round nose quads come in several options: standard heat treated, carbide tip, and some with special coatings or other treatments. All current quads are known to have some issues. Standard quads can plug or cap. Capping is known as the cookie cutter syndrome. It's when the tine penetrates the turf, cuts around a core, but the core stays in the ground when the tine is pulled up. Capping is rarely a problem with carbide tipped quads, but they tend to pull up less material than a standard quad, and they can plug. Often, superintendents will prep their greens in anticipation of an aerification by adding moisture. This can aid in pulling a core. We chose test sites all across the United States to see how they would perform in various soil and environmental conditions. Our first trials happened to be in New York with our 3/8 Viper quads. Half a Toro 648 was loaded with our standard 3/8 by 5 quad tines, and the other half was loaded with the 3/8 by 5 Viper nose quads. The superintendent decided to pre-water his greens. Unfortunately, he was called away before he could start his aerification. By the time he returned, it was much later in the day and the greens had dried out substantially. He decided to go ahead and run his aerification anyway. The difference between the two quads was immediately obvious. He sent me a text with this photo. In his words, he said, "It's like night and day." He understood that he was testing a new product for CTI, and he also said, and I'll quote, "You have a game changer." Of course, we were extremely pleased to hear this, but we had 3 more test sites, and the next site was out west. None of these superintendents were aware of the other tests. The very next day, we got a second report, and that superintendent also said that the Vipers were a game changer. 2 tests, 2,000 miles apart, and both superintendents had exactly the same response, exactly the same words. The new Viper nose quads are a game changer. Other superintendents had other reactions, but they were all overwhelmingly positive. Why were these superintendents so excited? What we've seen thus far is that the Vipers work flawlessly on all soil conditions when standard round nose quads don't. In addition, they pull up significantly more material and demonstrate exceptional longevity. So in direct comparison, our own Viper nose quads excelled. They pulled a core when others did not. They appeared to last significantly longer than our own standard quads, and they pulled up significantly more material. All 3 of these are real everyday issues with current quad tines. Considering longevity, in our first field test, the 3/8 Viper nose quads lasted more than 85,000 square feet, and according to the superintendent, still had 10 to 15% more life left in them. Our quarter Viper quad, shown here, after 7 greens hardly looks worn. Then again here after 13 greens. These are quarter quad Vipers after being used for 3¼ acres on a Toro 1298. If you divide the square footage by half, these tines have run 70,785 square feet and still have significant life on them. Compare the length of the nose of the new unused tine to these tines. How many times have you had a set of quarter quads last that long unless they actually have carbide tips? Our Viper nose quads appeared to be very special from the start to finish. I've shown how they performed all across the United States. How they will work on your turf is yet to be determined. After these results, it is clear that our Viper nose quads are quite special and deserve consideration. So far, you have seen some photos and heard me make some rather exceptional claims for our Viper quads. Don't take my word for it. Try a set for yourself beside the quads you've been using. Then drop me a note and a photo. Please call us if you have any questions or would like to try a set today. Thank you for listening.
Now for an update on my granddaughter, Addison. She was indeed bitten by this copperhead, and after about $70,000 worth of antivenom and a night in the hospital, she was doing great. She's had no problems afterwards, and she is a wonderful, beautiful blessing to our family.
This program and all its contents is the property of Ceres Turf Incorporated and may not be copied, distributed, or used in any way without the express written consent of Ceres Turf Incorporated. All rights reserved.